Welcome back to my channel. I'm Hannah Blackwell, and today I want to give you a list of my favorite paranormal romances. I put up a poll on my Instagram stories to find out what y'all would prefer I film next. Paranormal romance recommendations, my paranormal romance TBR, monster romance recommendations, and my monster romance TBR. And y'all seem fairly evenly interested in all of them, but definitely my paranormal romance recommendations did win out. So that's what I'm going to share with you today. But don't fear, because I will be coming at you with my list of books that I really want to read in both the paranormal romance genre and the monster romance genre. And of course, I'm going to be sharing with you my favorite monster romances at some point this fall as well. So before we get into this, I just want to let you know I'm going to have all of my social media linked down below for my Goodreads, Instagram, Twitter, and Book Talk. If you want to follow me on any of those platforms, I would love to have you. If you like this video, please click the like button and comment down below and let me know your favorite paranormal romance, because I would love some more recommendations. If you haven't already subscribed but you are interested in content like this, go ahead and click the subscribe button, and you can also click the notification bell if you want to be notified every time I post new videos. So starting right away, I have a recent read, and that is Her Soul to Take by Harley LaRue. And I really loved this book. Now, it is going to be a trilogy as far as I know. The second book is already out, and I actually do have that on my September TBR, but this was a really awesome read. It's one of the few romances that I've given 5 stars, and I loved it. This is about a ghost investigator who gains the attention of a cult when she returns back to her hometown, and the cult sends a demon after her, but the demon decides he does not want to kill her. He wants to play with her instead. And so this is a romance between those two characters, and it is just super fun. It has all of the Twilight and like Buffy vibes. It is very dark and twisted, trigger warnings all over the place, so definitely check them out if you need them. But it's set in the Pacific Northwest, so there's a lot of rain, and I feel like it's everything I want in a paranormal romance. It's definitely dark and twisted, not for everyone, but if you are interested in reading something that is really... I just realized I forgot to turn on my new lights. Check these out. I have some spider ones too, but I need batteries for those. But those will be up as well. I got them at HomeGoods recently. Anyway, so I really like this book. I definitely recommend it if you're interested in trying something out that's a little dark and twisted. The second book that I have on this list is actually a series that I am in the middle of. I think I'm up to book 7 because there's a lot of books in the series, and that is the Dark Hunter series by Sherilyn Kenyon. The first book in the series is Night Pleasures. There is a prequel, but that and some people say to start with that one, but I went back to read that after I got into the series. It's not a good representation of what the series is. It's more of a prequel to the full universe, because there are multiple like series within this universe. Anyway, the Dark Hunter series is one of my favorites. Night Pleasures is the first book in the series, and this series is about dark hunters. And they were actually made by Artemis to protect humans from vampires, basically. So they have been made to look like vampires. They can't be out in the light just like vampires. They're just made, and they're made to hunt them. And so this is just a really cool series that's very spicy. There's these dark hunters that have been around for hundreds and hundreds of years, some of them thousands. And it's a mixture of mythology with vampires, vampire hunting, and demons, and each book follows a different couple. So I definitely recommend that series. It is super steamy, but also when you go through the series, there's some pretty cool world building and an overarching plot as well. Number 3 on this list is Baby and the Late Night Howlers by Catherine Moon. This is an Omegaverse book, and this was the first Omegaverse book that I've ever read. It is a reverse harem where there's the main character who thinks she's a beta basically, but she ends up perfuming late, and she basically then needs to find her pack. And she does so by looking through the different, or smelling the different scents at the Omega Center. And she finds a pack that is not so wealthy and is kind of down on their luck, but they just seem to fit perfectly with her. And it is extremely steamy. And so if you are looking for that, Catherine Moon definitely tends to deliver like books that are more in the longer range that are just lots and lots of steam. So if that's what you're looking for, definitely check this one out. I also want to add too that there is some great male action in this book as well. I guess you would say like MMFMM. I'm not great on the terms, but there are two male characters in this book that are in a relationship as well. Okay, next on my list of paranormal romance recommendations is Dark Lover by J.R. Ward. I have read the first 3 books in this series. This is the Black Dagger Brotherhood series, and I've really enjoyed it. This is about vampires, and actually this book specifically is about basically the king of vampires who has not really come up to really take his title and to take his throne. And he is sent by his late friend, who has passed away, to protect his friend's daughter. And he goes a little bit farther than just protecting her, and they end up getting together. She is about to become a vampire, but because she also has human blood in her as well, the change can be very dangerous. This is super steamy. There is also an overarching plot in this series, just like the Dark Hunter series. The two are actually quite similar, but in this one, they are hunting the Omega, who is like a demon, I believe, and he's got this army of soulless people that he sends to kill vampires, and they're trying to get rid of the Black Dagger Brotherhood. The Black Dagger Brotherhood is basically the elite vampires who are there to protect the regular vampires. So that's kind of a little bit about the world, but in terms of the romance, each book in the series follows a different couple, and the first book is my favorite in the series. I love Wrath, and I loved this book. But this is a really long series too. So if you are looking to get into a long series, this, just like Dark Hunter, is a super long series you can really dive into, but you can put down for long periods of time because each book is its own separate romance with a smaller, overarching plot throughout the whole series. And I just have to say that Wrath is hot. Oof. Okay, this would not be a romance recommendation list on my channel without involving a little bit of Katie Roberts. Katie Roberts is one of my favorite romance authors, and if you have not already checked out her vampire series, it is a awesome series to read. Yet another one that I've given 5 stars. It's a novella series starting with Sacrifice. I've only read the first one because I'm actually waiting for her new bind up to come out actually in less than a week. It should be at my doorstep hopefully tomorrow morning. But she does have I think it's called the Court of the Vampire Queen or something like that. But it's the bind up of her 3 vampire novellas, which are actually also available on Kindle Unlimited. Sacrifice is about a vampire half human, and she's sent to a vampire lord named Malachi, and she's sent basically by her father to be a blood bank. So she's going to be feeding Malachi, and her father does this to basically control both Malachi and her. If she produces a child, that will go to her father, and it allows basically her father to have even more control over both of them. So It actually ends up being a reverse harem book with 3 male vampires and then our main character who is a half vampire. But things get super heated really fast, and it's a totally fun time. I'm planning on just reading the whole series in the bind up this fall because I need to reread the first one, so it's been a little bit since I've read it. So I think I'm just gonna binge the whole series with the bind up this fall, and I cannot wait to do that. Another vampire romance, but this involves vampires, lycans, and ghouls, is Entombed by Blood by Mary Mystery. Mary Mystery has become one of my favorite reverse harem authors. She actually has another series that is also kind of paranormal romance, but kind of fantasy romance. It's kind of a mashup because her love interests in that one are so many different creatures. But in Entombed by Blood, we have vampires, lycans, and ghouls. Our main character is basically like a princess of the vampires. Her sire is the all-powerful vampire, and she, in the very beginning of this book, is betrayed, and in that betrayal she gets punished by her sire and is buried alive for like 200 years. And when she wakes up, she's fed the blood of I can't remember, like 5, I think maybe, different vampires and lycans, and they basically become her mates, and the series goes from there. There is a lot of adventure, there is a political plot, there's a war, there's an uprising. So Mary Mystery does a great job of including a lot of fantasy plot into her books, and I definitely recommend. I am currently reading the second book. I just started the second book in the series, and the second book just came out in August. Finally, I have a sapphic romance that I really enjoyed. It's just a little novella called Little Green Vines by Britt Andrews. And this is just about a girl who lives on the edge of the forest, and a forest witch takes a liking to her and brings her back to her lair, and romance ensues. It's just really cute and really sexy and steamy. And it's just I think it's a really fun romance to just have like just a one sitting romance read if you're looking for something just to read over the course of like an hour or two maybe. I definitely recommend this book. It is just really fun, really cute, really steamy. Yeah, this girl's just living on the edge of the forest, tending to her garden, and a forest witch takes a liking to her and lures her into the forest to her lair and has a fun time with her. I'm always looking for more sapphic romances, especially sapphic paranormal and sapphic fantasy romances. So if you have any recommendations, especially for those, please let me know. I hope you guys enjoyed this list. It is by no means every paranormal romance that I've liked. It's just some of my favorites. I also excluded any paranormal romances that I thought might be considered monster romance as well. I tried to keep it just to basically vampires, werewolves, and witches, so that it was just straight paranormal romance, so that I can do a separate monster romance video at another time. So I kept out anything that was more monster related in the paranormal romance category. So that will be in another video. If you're interested in monster romance recommendations, definitely stay tuned. Make sure you're subscribed so that you can keep updated. I hope you really liked this video, and if you did, click the like button. Make sure to let me know any of your recommendations below because I love paranormal romance. Once again, all of my social media will be linked down below if you want to check those out. If you're not already subscribed, please subscribe, and you can click the notification bell if you want to be notified every time I post new videos. Until next time, fellow readers, keep reading and living your best life.
Fake a smile until I look away, but I've known you too long. It hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away, as you fade away.